Welcome to Nikki Speaks TV, the relationship series. The pandemic forced us all to slow down and do an assessment of our relationships. Whether you're dating, engaged, married, or divorced, we'll share tools to help everyone. Join me this season as my guest and I talk about all things relationships. Hi guys, welcome to Nikki Speaks Therapy TV. I'm so excited to have my friends and coaches in studio today, Cicone Prince and Dr. LaDonya, all the way from Arizona, and Cicone from Alabama. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So I always like to start out by just sharing what it is that you do and who you are in the world. So either one of you can go first. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Well, I am Dr. LaDonya Yvette from Phoenix, Arizona, and I am the owner, creator of iWing Global Influential Women Inspired Network, where we're all about girl power and empowering women to become their best selves and to just make the world a better place. I am also a certified life coach, so I have several clients that I coach on the CLEAR method to help you discover you.
I love that. I love it. What about you, Cicone?
Well, my name is Cicone Prince of CiconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. I'm a coach, I'm a motivational speaker, I'm also a magazine editor, and I have a television show. But most importantly, for me, it's really about helping to make an impact and really help people to understand what it is they have to offer the world.
I love that. Well, I'm a psychotherapist, but I also love to life coach. In fact, I find it so fulfilling to work with people because in that arena, you're able to really dig in deep and have a personal relationship with your clients. Why is it that you all have decided to pursue coaching as a part of your passion and a part of your career?
Well, it is a passion of mine because we grow daily, and I do want to discover more of who I am and my purpose on this earth, and also to teach it and to help others to discover themselves as well. So it's important that we tune into ourselves and find out exactly what we are here to do and how we are to serve in our greatest capacity, and how can we give back to the world and the community and within our families and within our circle of influence, because it's a gift that we have that we all have to give away. So how can we do that? And the best way is the personal development to discover who you are so you can help others to do the same.
I love that. How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it for all my life, teaching myself, really, but coaching within the last 5 years, I would say, on a personal level, on a professional level, as well as a personal level, because, when I coach people, I'm actually getting a blessing in return.
Oh, yes, definitely. And you?
Well, I definitely like helping people to understand what they have. I think so many of us, we never really take the time to realize our own potential. I was sharing with someone a couple of weeks ago that we need to understand our value and then understand what value our value brings. Because it's what we have that was sent to really serve the world. And Dr. Miles Monroe said that the fruit isn't for the tree. And our gifts aren't for ourselves. They're meant to serve other people. But if we don't understand how valuable our gifts are, then how can we truly see the responsibility that comes with that? And one of the lessons I learned as a child growing up literally came from Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. And that's just really a quote of it. In fact, it's actually a retelling of the scripture, to whom much is given, much is required.
Oh, yes.
And so I think a lot of people really haven't realized what they've been given. And because they don't realize it, they don't see the requirement that comes with it. And so my job is to help people to understand their own uniqueness. I'm sorry, I didn't.
You did take my. Well, it's copyrighted, by the way.
And we actually, well, one of the reasons why I truly love working with Dr. LaDonya is because we truly complement each other. Because me introducing you to yourself is similar to what she does with your own uniqueness. Understanding who you are, because it's from that you really see the importance of you showing up. So many people, when they don't realize who they are or what they have, they shrink back, they don't show up. But somebody's hungry for what you have, don't leave them starving.
I like that. Well, and I know your conference, the GLOW conference yesterday, we were all there and shared, with the audience that you had. And it was so powerful, you know.
Thank
and
you.
I loved everything. I mean, your transparency, your vulnerability. I mean, it was just very admirable. You know, it takes courage. You know, both of you guys for coming so far and to, impact people in the way that you did. And I remember when I spoke, one of the things that stood out to me, I know we talked about glowing up, right? And I feel that sometimes, we are so hard on ourselves and critical with our journeys, and we get stuck in our past and all those things that it's hard for us to build momentum to move forward. How do you encourage your clients and the people that you impact, your circle of influence, to be able to move forward in the midst of adversity, in the midst of trials, in the midst of setbacks? What do you do? What do you say to them?
Well, first of all, there's things, it's not what happens to you, it's happening for you. And you are allowed to have your moments. And my thing is just don't stay in that pit.
Okay.
You're allowed to grieve, you're allowed to mourn. But just default to the positive is one of my teaching mechanisms, is to default to the positive. Because it's so natural for us to default to the negative on all of these things that are hitting us, things that are happening to us, all of that negative space. How can we reverse that and recondition our mind to default to the positive and make it a greater impact and influence on other people as well as ourselves? How can we get out of that pit on a positive level? So it's leading. So giving leadership opportunities to women is pretty much not just to other people, but you're glowing within yourself. So how can you glow into a positive direction to, impact the world?
Right. Do you find it easy to encourage people, but then when we have to go through, we're all, humans, we have to go through our own stuff. So then we have to apply what we're actually sharing with other people, right? Have you had those experiences?
I do. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
I definitely have had those experiences. And it's amazing to me how if we don't take the lesson, we can count it as a loss. I believe it was Nelson Mandela that said he either wins or he learns. But it's only a loss if you leave the lesson. So even when we're going through our own thing, we find ourselves having to apply some of their own medicine, some of their own salve that we give to other people. But I also, I use those moments to help me understand that I can sympathize with other people. I can better connect with them. In fact, my coach, Dr. Ruben West, tells us the easiest way to connect to a human is to be one. And so knowing that we've gone through some things, it put us in a better place for us to be able to actually connect with other people and really allow them to understand, listen, I understand where you are. I may not know exactly where you are, but I understand enough about what you're going through, and I can actually offer you some help because guess what? I've been through some things myself.
I mean, I think that's so important. And I think our clients want us to be real with them, right? And share,
yes, definitely.
And I watched you yesterday, Cicone, and you were so calm, just moving around, helping and, doing so much. What is it? I would say, what is your why? What is your reason for doing what you do and doing it at the level of excellence that you do?
I really want people to see themselves in a different space. I mean, that is at the core of who I am and what I do.
Okay.
Because I understand that if you truly know who you are, nothing can stop you. But until you know who you are, anything can.
How do you find that out? How do you discover that?
Well, you get a coach.
Okay. Like yourself.
Like myself. To actually walk you through a process. And I believe everybody has the answers to their problems. But in order to get the right answers, you have to ask the right questions. And the problem is, we'll ask questions of everybody else, but rarely do ask questions of ourselves.
Right.
And so a coach can help you ask the right questions of you, so you can discover what it is you have and what it is you have to offer the world. And once that becomes clear, then again, I step out of the way and just let you go. But until you know who you are, like I say, anything can stop you.
Right.
But when you know who you are, nothing can. And so I help people go through that process of truly understanding what they have to offer and why it's so important, why it's so valuable.
Wow, I love that. What's your why, Dr. LaDonya?
Saying all my words. I'm telling you,
He stole it.
Because being a clarity coach, that's what I'm all about. I'm all about getting a clear vision of who I am and how I am to serve, you know. It's all about inspiring within to empower outwardly, you know.
I like that.
You like that? I like that too.
He's on taking it.
Yeah. So I have a quote, you know, I made up a quote, be a beacon of light and hope for others. So when you lead with love, you become unforgettable. So when you lead with light like that, it impacts another person. Doesn't matter what you're going through. And I also teach people how to take the emotion out of things when they're going through their own stuff to help the next one. Because it's not about you. You know, it's not about you. It's about your purpose. And that is your purpose, to give of yourself. Because we all serve in some capacity. That's true. So how are you going to serve the world in your greatest capacity?
I remember working with Lisa Nichols, and she was my executive coach. And I just remember, like you, I feel like people, when they're ready, they know, right? And I told myself I was going to be at an event that she was having. I said, I'm going to walk right up to her. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to walk right up to her, walk my little legs, you know, security. No, walk right up to her. And I said, I'm going to ask her. You know, I'm going to say, I want to work with you. Don't know if I can afford it, but want to work with you. And whatever she says, I'm going to have the faith that and believe that I can pay for it. And I went right up to her. And she said that, you know, she applauded me for being so bold to do that, you know, because I had to wiggle through, maneuver my way. And so when I got up there and she said yes, and I was so surprised, but yet there was that boldness that I had. And I love that when my clients are ready and they know they're ready, and it gets to a point where I just want them to win so bad, like, you know. I mean, more. I just want them to make it happen, you know.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
That's true. That's true. You know, and sometimes I think people get lost in the investment. And it does, you know, our time is valuable because we're pouring from our own experiences, we're pouring from our own education and the things that we've invested in. Took us some money to get to where we are. So we share from that wealth of knowledge, you know. So who are the people that you would say are, that kind of spearheaded your path, that are your mentors, that are people that you, besides each other, because I know y'all gonna say that, but that you feel have helped you and impacted your path to being a coach?
Well, I know for myself, Dr. Ruben West was my speaker coach, and I would not be doing what I'm doing today if it wasn't for the impact he's had on my life. One of the things he helped establish early on was, are you about the cause or are you about the applause? Because if you're about the applause, when they stop, you'll stop. But if you're for the cause, no matter who's clapping or who's not, who's cheering your name or not, you're going to keep going. And that's when I really settled in on my why. And he has been a tremendous influence, example. And I tell people all the time, hooking up with Dr. West is like hooking your wagon to a comet.
Buckle up.
Exactly. And he's taught me a lot about coaching because you can't just settle as a coach. You have to keep pouring into you and investing in yourself.
That part, yes.
And I want to applaud your boldness to go up to talk to, in fact, Lisa Nichols, but the money was not, it was to her, but it was an investment in you.
It really was.
And that's what people really have a hard time understanding, that I'm investing in myself.
Right.
And you can never go broke investing in yourself.
Right. And I think, you know, for me, I looked at it as, you know, sometimes I'll say this, that people, when they do invest, they may feel like, okay, I want to see money come back. And sometimes it's in stages, so you don't see that reward immediately from a financial point of view. But now that I've worked with her, like, I forever can say that I have been in close proximity to her. I've traveled with her. We went to Spain together. We went to Temecula, California together. You know, these are things that are invaluable to my journey, you know, and snapshots of all that I've experienced, you know. So I think you're 100% right, you know. What would you say your spirit, who spearheaded
Well, speaking of what you just said, you lose the message in the money if that's your focus. If your focus is on the money.
You say a lot of nice little. Wait, I may steal that too. Look.
I mean, because if that's your focus, then you lost the message for real, you know. And also people who pay attention, you know. So invest in yourself. I'm a very big advocate on personal development and leadership development. and you would figure it out. It would work itself out. You know, everything will happen for you the way it's supposed to have you, you know, in a timely manner, the way it should. My coach and mentor, Dr. Will Moreland, we have a similar background as far as where we grew up at. He's from Compton, I'm from Watts, you know.
I taught at Charleston Middle School in Compton.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
For 4 years, yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, so coming from that environment, you know, it's not a negative thing for me when I look back on it now, although it is what it is. It was a strengthening thing to help me grow, to let me know that this is to help you, to strengthen you, to make you better so you can make it better. You know, so I carried that with me. I carry my background, my environment, where I grew up at, and I teach on that with my CLEAR method and my 5 clarity keys. The one is culture, and culture actually deals with your environment and your conditioning and how you grew up and where you grew up.
Okay.
And so that helps you discover who you are. So Dr. Will Moreland, he spoke about push at the launch of I Win Global.
Okay.
And when he spoke of that, he was very, very prophetically profound in his message. And it was directly at me, you know. So push was my word that he actually spoke over me. So I've been pushing for my purpose ever since. So I owe a lot to him and a lot of other people who support me, who believe in me, because it helps for people to sincerely believe in you,
Right.
you know, and not compete with you.
Yes.
You know.
I agree. I remember when I was teaching in Compton, when I first started there, I was scared, you know, because I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, these kids gonna beat me up. And then, but it was my best teaching experience.
Yeah.
I mean, once they knew that I cared, like they were totally invested in me. And so it was I understand, you know, completely just having seen it from a different perspective, you know. It was so funny. One time there was a substitute next door, and he came in and asked me to go, my 5-foot self, to go calm the class down. They were throwing desks at each other, and I was like, huh? So I go in there, I was like, put that desk down. They were all calm or whatever. So I think, your environment is important. Your childhood, your past, all those things, you know, impact your present moment. So
people are hungry to belong somewhere.
They are.
They're hungry to find who they really are. They really are hungry for it. And it takes a special type of person to seek to understand first and to be understood, you know, to listen. I'm a great listener. I'm probably the master listener here because I teach with TLC, you know. I'm totally present. I listen attentively and I give you the clear coaching. So I'm TLC and all over you, you know. So it takes a great person to really just tune into what the other person needs, and it takes a great skill of listening.
I love your demeanor.
You do?
Know? Yeah,
Well,
I love your presence. Just it's like a quiet force, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you
Thank
just
you.
I mean, confidence. I mean, you just exude those things, those qualities.
Thank you.
So I think that's really important too.
Yeah.
What's next for you two, individually?
What's next for me is to keep on pushing. I have several books in the making that I'm doing right now. I'm revamping another one of my old ones already. I want to have my own talk show. I already have my own talk show.
I'm sorry. That's the coach in me.
I have my own talk show. You know, I am, you know, the editor of a magazine. I have my own magazine, so I'm very proud of that. So I love writing. I love expressing myself. I love being creative. That's my passion, is being very creative. So whatever God gives me to create, that is what I'm going to do. I love teaching and coaching and just being there for somebody. I love giving. I love to see people receiving what they need, you know, and to be inspired to do the same, not keep it with themselves. That motivates me, you know, to keep pushing. So, and I have, you know, conferences and events, and you just never know where Dr. LaDonya is going to end up.
Tell us about your conference, and then we're going to ask Cicone the same question.
The conference we had yesterday was the Glow Dallas Immersive Experience. It was pretty much the prelude to the main conference in the fall in October, which is GlowCon, giving leadership opportunities to women. It's not about a conference, but it's all about connection. And so that is very, very, it's my hard work right there, you know, to just help people to glow with outwardly, inwardly, so they can grow outwardly too as well. So that is in October, the GlowCon event. And so we just want people to just come out and just come glow all over Dallas right now.
Yeah.
You know.
Can men come too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We need our men to back us up. We need to back the women up.
I agree. What's next for you?
She stole all my words. Except for the glow. No.
Okay.
I'm actually working on my sixth book. Sixth book. It's entitled Heal.
Okay.
And it's HEAL is an acronym for Help, Elevate, and Learn.
Okay.
And it's a guide for
I'm taking that. No, just kidding. I can't take it.
It's a guide for healing your inner child. A lot of us, we really, in fact, when I started off introducing people to themselves, one thing I forgot about or didn't focus on, in fact, was the childhood, which is the most formative years of our life.
Right.
Things that happen in our childhood show up in our adulthood, and they keep showing up. And I realized that it was because that we lacked inner child work. And as I started doing some, in fact, research on it, I even found, in fact, that there's a way to reparent yourself. And that's in the book. That's in the book.
Like, give us some nuggets.
That's in the book.
We got to buy the book, y'all.
Well, but I mean, honestly, it was not Tony Robbins, Tim Robbins, who said that it's never too late to have a happy childhood. See, there are things that we can do to actually do that inner child work. By first of all, acknowledging the fact that we still have an inner child in us. And the problem is a lot of people will act out and then they will just say, well, that's just where I am. No, that was your inner child.
Yes.
But
So true.
because you didn't identify it as that, you thought it was you. And I tell people all the time, never let your emotions drive. They're not covered on your insurance.
That's good.
And it's just like your children. It's like your inner child, because when you don't allow your reason to take the driver's seat, when you get the keys to your inner child, your inner child, you have to deal with the fallout. And I really hate to go here, but the most famous, infamous example we've had was last year at the Oscars with Will Smith.
Oh, yes.
He let little Will drive.
Baby Will.
Exactly. Baby Will drove.
Itty bitty.
And Big Will is paying the consequences.
Oh, no.
And oftentimes we don't identify that there's work that needs to be done in us in order to get us in a better place, in a better space. So we can deal with situations. I can't tell you how many times I've had to have a conversation with Coney. Now, Coney's the name, in fact, that my mother called me when I was little. Not Cicone, but Coney. And so many times I have said, Coney, we can't do that. Coney, we can't say that. Coney, we can't act, because I have to reason with that part of myself which just wants to respond in pure emotion. There's nothing wrong with having emotions, but don't let the emotions have you.
That's so good.
So that's what I'm working on. I'm actually going to be launching it on my birthday, August 14th.
Okay.
And I'm so excited because I honestly believe it's going to help. And now I will say this, I am not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but I have dealt with this enough to know that I can actually start the conversation. And throughout my book, I even have disclaimers. If at any time you feel that something was triggered, go see a professional.
Right.
I'm encouraging people to do that.
I'm glad you do that. Yeah.
Because I know that there are some things that you really need professional help with.
Right.
But I at least want to I want to normalize the conversation about what went into making us who we are. Because if you never really understand that, you would say, but that's just where I am. Why?
Right.
I tell people all the time, it's not what you do, but why you do it. So many people just look at what they did. No. Why did they do that? And understanding that why. Delta Sherrill told us, he said, why stands for what hurt you or what heals you. So what's your why? And so understanding what hurt you is the first step into understanding what will heal you. So that's what I'm working on.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll have to check that book out.
Of course. And if it's okay, I do have a freebie.
Okay.
CiconePrince.com/heal.
Okay.
There's some audio on there for some previous presentations that I've done, which are really impactful. And I'm not just saying it because I gave them. I'm saying it because of of the results that people have gotten from listening to them. And one of them was entitled, Tell Your Limits Goodbye. And it's worth your time. It's only
like,
it's
go
only
there.
18 minutes, but it's worth your time because it really helps you to understand the only limits we set on ourselves are the ones that hold us back. But if you can find those limits and tell them goodbye, you can live beyond them.
To be limitless, yeah. I know when I was speaking yesterday, one of the things, I feel like my job as a psychotherapist / coach is to really, especially if I'm speaking, if things have been opened up in terms of going back to childhood experiences, little Nikki experiences, you know, little Cicone, little LaDonya experiences.
Little Don.
Don. Okay. When those experiences surface, you know, I feel like I can come in from my experiences and also my education and say, okay, now that it's here, let's figure out a way to manage that. Let's figure out a way to cope with that. Because those are going to be your triggers. And it was kind of, you know, I did that emotional timeline yesterday. And when that happened, when I did that in a training, I was like, wow, you know, how long have we been living below the line? And I'll have to put something in the video for you guys to see. But when the episode airs. But basically it's, you know, just a line, and it's almost like a Venn diagram. If you guys remember, I taught English, so of course, sentence diagramming. But you write down the negative things at the bottom that you've experienced, 5, and then you write down the 5 positive things at the top. And so my goal is to help people see that even in the midst of those negative things you've experienced, I don't care what it is. I care, but I don't care, and, you know, for the sake of the assignment. Because at the top, even though you went through those negative things, you still were able to accomplish all these things in the midst of devastation, in the midst of pain, in the midst of whatever you went through. So do we act like it didn't exist? No. We deal with it. We go to counseling. We get medication if we need to cope. But we also remember that we're resilient. Resiliency means being able to bounce back from adversity quickly. And I love that quickly part.
Now, speaking of that, I have a look again perspective. It's called Look Again.
Okay.
And what I teach the client is to write down what's negative in your life. What's negative in 3 things that are negative in your life. Okay, on top of that, write 3 things or, you know, that can change it right now in an instant. So it's a look again. It's an instant look again. So if that's defaulting to the positive.
Perspective.
If you put down the negative and all of a sudden you quickly can change it, just like that.
Wow.
Look again.
I love that.
Change your perspective.
Because then you discover, too, how powerful you are.
Yeah, in an instant.
Wow. I love that. I love it. Well, we're going to take a question from the audience. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Go ahead.
Hello. Hi, I just wanted to ask, what I'm hearing in all 3 of your conversation is finding your purpose. And it seems like each one of you guys have found your purpose. What advice do either one of you can give to a client that's starting off their journey into finding their purpose?
Great question.
That is a great question.
You want to go first?
Drum roll.
Well, my first question to clients pretty much, and I guess this is to try to help you to find your purpose, is who are you? A lot of people cannot answer that question of who are you. It's intimidating to them when I say, well, who are you? They don't know the answer to that, you know. So then we have to break down who you are through a clear method to get to discover yourself. So it's first also is to believe in yourself, that you do have a purpose. It's in there. It's in you. You wouldn't be alive if you didn't have a purpose. Everybody has a purpose. Every living thing has a purpose. Every animal, every insect, everything has a purpose. It's just trying to discover it for yourself. So getting a coach to help you break that down, to break down those limiting beliefs that you have that is conditional within the culture of the 5 keys. You need to break down all of that to discover you. So it takes time. It takes perseverance. It takes believing in yourself, you know, because a lot of it is scary to discover who you are. It is scary, you know, especially if that's not where you come from. You know, it's like you want to do so much and you have a heart and a passion for it, but you're scared to move. How do we get you to move? We need to get you to move.
I think and I'm not you.
Okay.
But I think when you said that, people don't know, this is my perspective, they don't know who they are because they're so lost in who they were and who somebody else has told them that they were.
That's it.
you know?
That's it.
So when they're asked that question, who are you? It's like, I don't know. Well, my mom said I was this, my boyfriend, my husband, my girlfriend, or whatever. Or this is what I believe that I was. So now do I have the boldness to say, no, this is who I am? And people can decide. You know, you get to choose. It's kind of like what I was talking about yesterday. Every morning you wake up, you get to choose. Today, I choose joy. I choose love. I choose resiliency. I choose peace. And for me, I just think that sometimes when we talk about purpose, you know, to answer your question, so I think setting a clear intention. I don't know who I am right now, but I can set the intention of who I want to be, who I'm becoming, who I desire to be. And that when I have that clear perspective of I want to be courageous, I want to be confident, I want to be stronger than I've ever been before, I want to help somebody, then that sets us on the path of discovery. And we're open to find that purpose.
That's the key. That's what you have to be open to it.
Yes.
To be clear, to gain the clarity, because if it's clouded, you will not see it.
Right.
You will
Put
not
that
see it.
backpack down from all the, you know, that you've been carrying around from everything that
Yeah.
you've been saying that was you. So
Right.
what about you? What do you think?
Well, I would suggest that you purchase my book. No, seriously. It's
Hire me as a
entitled,
coach.
it's entitled, Are You Climbing the Wrong
Oh,
Mountain?
Yeah. I
The
love that
subtitle
title.
is Finding Your True Purpose. And the way that I came up with that title for the book was I heard a quote by Dr. Miles Monroe where he said, the greatest failure in life is to succeed at the wrong assignment. And when I first heard that quote, the first thing that came to my mind was a picture of somebody standing on top of a mountain saying, I did it. But at the bottom of the picture, the caption said, but you're on the wrong mountain. And see, I tell people that there are three things you can learn by being on the wrong mountain. The first thing is you can learn, okay, look, this is not it.
Yeah.
This is not what I'm supposed to be. I can scratch this off my list. This was a mistake. But actually, it wasn't a mistake. Because even the second thing that you can glean from being on the wrong mountain, even being on the wrong mountain, you can see the right one.
Yeah.
You can see where you're supposed to be and what it is you're supposed to be doing. But the third thing is once you've identified the right mountain, it's not going to take you that long to get up it because you have mountain climbing skills.
I was going to say, you already did.
There's stuff that you've learned, even climbing the wrong mountain, that you can take with you. And so finding your true purpose is so critical because, again, it helps you to live a fulfilled life. Like I said, the greatest failure in life is to succeed at the wrong assignment. Because once you've succeeded, you feel defeated. You feel depleted.
It's like, what's next now? What do I do?
Exactly. And somebody once said that the top of one mountain is the bottom of another.
Wow.
So you don't
Keep
just
going.
stop there.
Keep going.
You have to continue to set goals and you have to continue to grow. And one of the ways you do that, even once you've gotten any measure of success, you can actually help somebody behind you. Which brings up my next book, Leadership That Lasts, passing on 10 solid principles to ensure they're doing legacy. And I mean, seriously, because to me, personal development and leadership development are two sides of the same coin. You can't lead others until you learn how to lead yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
But once you learn how to lead yourself, the next logical step is to lead other people. Once you've had some success, once you've learned how to do something, are you going to just keep it to yourself? I remember this other guy telling me that the sin of the desert was not telling people where water is. If you know where water is and you're in the desert,
Help somebody.
exactly, just tell them where it is. And so taking our experience, taking the things that we've gone through and sharing them with others, like Dr. LaDonya did, like you do, it helps people to get out of that pit and out of that place where they were. And it sets an example for other people. I'm not just up here celebrating myself. No, I'm trying to bring some folks with me.
Right.
And when they look
Let's
at
go.
you know, that's what, I mean, that's what's, he's actually helping people. So I need to do the same, not just, you know, parade around in my own amazingness or awesomeness, but I need to turn, I mean, I'll do that for a minute, but then I gotta turn around, I gotta turn around and help somebody else. And that reminds me, and I guess I want to end with this quote. It's something that I shared, I guess, today at the Glow Immersive Experience, and something, in fact, that I shared at GlowCon last year. And that was, are you healed enough to help celebrate somebody else and help them glow?
Yeah.
And see, oftentimes people have a problem with celebrating other people because they're still hurting. They haven't fully, and it's not that we have to fully heal. That's why I say, are you healed enough
Right. Yeah.
to be able to help celebrate and lift somebody up, to help somebody else? You don't, even if you're not on top of the mountain, you can help somebody to climb exactly. And so those are some of the things that just, of course, are near and dear to my heart.
So are your 6 books your 6 mountains? Your personal 6 mountains? That
No.
you...
If I could actually just run down the list is, are you smart enough to play dumb? Okay. There's a guy for starting to run a small business. Are you climbing the wrong mountain? About finding your true purpose. I did shooting from the hip. 7 life lessons I learned from my total hip replacement.
Oh.
Knowing when to jump. And that was about determining the best time to take your leap of faith. Number 5 was leadership that lasts, passing on 10 solid principles to ensuring and enduring legacy. And my latest one is heal. Help elevate and learn, a guide for healing your inner child. And I'm doing all of this because, quite frankly, I don't want to go to the grave with all this stuff. I want to leave it for somebody else. I want to help somebody else. I want to encourage. I actually had 2 people read, Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain? And they quit their job. I said, whoa. Chapter 5 says, put the box down. I'm serious. I put that in the book. But they were so moved because they realized, I'm on the wrong mountain.
Wow.
But I told them, you got to get a plan together.
Yeah.
Don't just quit. You can't sleep on my couch. Exactly. You can't sleep on my couch. But make sure that you are passionate about, in fact, what it is that you're going to do, and that you can build your own personal economy around that. So.
Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'd like you both to speak to the camera, speak to the audience, and tell them, imagine that there's somebody out there, because I'm sure there's plenty, that need to hear your voice, that need to work with you personally. Talk to them and tell them how to reach you, how to, come to GlowCon, and how to purchase your books and all those things and all the great things that you guys have going.
Okay. First of all, I would like to tell everyone, to the sound of my voice, that you matter, that you are enough. For those who do not believe in themselves, you are enough. If nobody ever told you, I'm telling you. Because I believe in you, because of the experiences that I went through and then I know that you're going through, you absolutely can make a difference in the purpose that you have to impact the world. I am Dr. LaDonya Yvette, the Clarity Coach. You can reach me at iwinglobalenterprises.com. That is my website. All of my information is on there. I'm on social media as Dr. LaDonya Yvette. And I just want you to just know and just push. My word is push. Just push through your purpose, push through that pain, whatever it is, because you have to empower the next person in front of you. So just do it. Go ahead and glow. Go ahead and glow. Go ahead and glow.
I'm over here getting chills. It's not because I'm cold either. So you're speaking with power.
And come to GlowCon in October.
Yes.
Is it October 29th? Come to GlowCon in October, right here in Dallas. It's going to be here in Dallas. So we welcome you, and we just want to see you and just love on you and help you to glow so you can help others glow as well.
Yes, thank you so much. And we'll post a flyer, guys, so that you guys are able to see how to register and everything. Okay. Mr. Prince?
Well, if I had to say anything to anybody listening, it would have to be that somebody is hungry for what you have. Don't let them starve. But if you don't see the value of your value, you won't present it to the world. Understanding what it is you have to offer, understanding the person that you are and the person that you want to be, to me, those are the first steps for you to actually move in that direction. I tell people all the time, no GPS will ever work if you don't have the location turned on. It's going to say, where are you? Because you could be right next to your destination. You could be 3,000 miles away. Before anyone can navigate an actual path to get there, okay, so this is where you want to go. Where are you now? And you have to be honest with yourself to understand where you are right now versus where you want to be. And so I'm talking to the individual that really wants to be in a better place and a better space. That person that wants to make an impact and a difference in their home, in their community, and also leave a legacy. You can do that. But the only way for you to do that is you have to be committed. But your commitment is going to drive your consistency. Your consistency is going to drive your success. And your success is going to leave a legacy. So if you want to be legendary, find out what it is you're committed to. Because that's what you're going to be consistent at. But once you're consistent at it for a while, you can't help but get better. You're going to see success. Then after a while, that's what you're going to be known for. So I really want you to know that you have something to offer and somebody is looking for you. Show up for them.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. When I found out you guys were going to be in my city, of course I knew because I was a part of the conference yesterday. I really wanted to interview you guys. I always, you know, as coaches, we're in the same field, on the same journey, helping people, and I just love to pick your brains so that I can, you know, grow stronger and become, you know, more knowledgeable about what you guys are doing, how you're helping people. And your followers, my followers, I always say it's our followers. So awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in today to Nikki Speaks Therapy TV. Please follow these wonderful people and do business with them because you need them. Trust me, we all do. All right, have a good time. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Thank you all for joining my show today on Nikki Speaks TV, the Relationships Series. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, or you can visit me at nikkispeakstherapy.com. See you next time.